The story begins in a small American town surrounded by mountains and evergreen forests. The air always smelled like pine trees, and the evenings were quiet, the kind of quiet that makes you think about life without even meaning to. In the local public school, two kids studied together, Liam and Emily. Same class, same hallway, but completely different worlds. Emily came from a wealthy family. Her parents owned real estate and multiple businesses in town. Their house sat on a hill, big windows, fancy cars in the driveway, everything polished and perfect. Emily always came to school in new clothes, her hair done nicely, her backpack matching her shoes. People noticed her the moment she walked in. Liam's life was very different. His mother worked long shifts as a waitress at a small diner near the highway. His father did multiple jobs, fixing fences, repairing old furniture, sometimes delivering packages, anything to keep the house running. They didn't have much, but their home had warmth, laughter, and the kind of love that doesn't need to be spoken. At school, Emily was surrounded by friends. Everyone liked her, she was kind, she smiled easily, and she had this bright energy around her. Liam, meanwhile, was quiet. Not shy, just thoughtful. His clothes were simple, his shoes worn, and his backpack was hand-me-down, but his eyes carried stories, depth, and calm. One day during lunch break, Emily walked over to him. Liam was sitting alone under a tree, reading. She asked softly, "Why do you always sit by yourself?" Liam looked up, smiled a quiet smile, and answered, "Because silence is where I feel most like myself." Emily didn't expect that. Most kids either bragged or complained. Liam understood things. After that day, their connection grew naturally. No forced conversations, no dramatic starts. Just simple moments. They began walking home together sometimes. Emily would talk about her dreams, her family, her fears. Liam listened, really listened, the way no one else did. Emily once told him, "You know, you're different. Not like everyone else." Liam replied, "Different isn't always special. Sometimes it just means alone." Emily shook her head. "No. I think it means strong." Slowly, what started as quiet friendship turned into something deeper, an unspoken attachment. They didn't say "I love you." They didn't need to. Their hearts understood it before words ever could. But life doesn't stay gentle forever. At the end of middle school, Emily's parents decided to enroll her in a private academy in the city. They thought it would shape her future, they believed Liam didn't fit into that future. The day before she left, Emily stood in front of him, tears in her eyes. "I'll come back," she promised. Liam simply nodded, because sometimes love isn't loud. Love is carried quietly, in the heart. Years passed. Emily studied in the city. New teachers, new friends, new surroundings, everything was different from the quiet small town she came from. Her life became busy, loud, and fast. She had events to attend, classes to rush through, and expectations to meet. But no matter how many people surrounded her, sometimes, at night, she would think of that quiet boy who sat under the tree, Liam. The one who listened without needing anything in return. Liam stayed in the small town. He finished school, worked part-time jobs, helped his parents, and tried to keep life moving. He didn't complain. But there was an emptiness in him, the kind that is shaped like a person you once loved. He didn't say it out loud, but he missed her. Not loudly. Just quietly, like he always did everything. One summer, after almost 5 years, Emily came back to town. Not because she wanted to, but because she needed to breathe. The city was too loud. Her parents were too busy. Everyone expected her to be perfect. She wanted to feel real again. On her first evening back, she walked down the old road that led toward the park, the same one they once walked together. The trees looked smaller now, or maybe she had just grown up. And there he was. Liam was sitting on a bench, reading a book, just like always. Same quiet posture. Same calm eyes. The world around him changed, but he hadn't. He looked older, stronger, but still, him. Emily's breath caught. She walked closer, and for a moment, she didn't know what to say. Words felt too small. Liam looked up, and for the first time in years, their eyes met. He smiled. A small, familiar, gentle smile. "You came back." Emily nodded, trying not to cry. "I told you I would." They sat together under the same sky they once did as kids. But now, they were different. Older. More aware. More fragile. Emily laughed softly. "You still like silence?" Liam replied, "Silence is where I hear my truth." She felt that. They talked for hours, about school, life, dreams, fears. And Emily realized something. In the city, everyone talked, but nobody listened. Liam still did. But happiness never lasts without a test. A few days later, Emily's parents invited her to a business dinner. A wealthy family was there. Their son, Ryan, smart, rich, confident. Their parents wanted Emily to get to know him. The table was filled with future plans that Emily never agreed to. Later that night, Emily stood outside under the porch lights, feeling trapped. She texted Liam. "Can we talk?" Within minutes, he was there. No questions. No hesitation. Emily's voice trembled. "Liam, everything feels decided for me. Like my life isn't mine anymore." Liam looked at her with steady eyes and simply said, "Then take it back." She stared at him, really stared. For the first time in years, she felt seen. Not as a daughter of rich parents. Not as someone others wanted to shape. Just Emily. And she knew. Her story with Liam wasn't over. It was just beginning again. The days that followed felt like something out of a quiet dream. Emily and Liam started spending more time together again. They walked the same small-town streets they once did as kids, but now everything felt heavier, deeper, more real. They talked about life, about fears, about what it means to grow up and lose pieces of yourself along the way. In those conversations, Emily realized something she had forgotten. With Liam, she didn't have to be perfect. She could just be Emily. No roles. No expectations. Just herself. One afternoon, they sat beside the old community lake. The water was still, reflecting the sky like glass. Emily said softly, "You know, I feel like I lost myself in the city. But when I'm here, with you, I remember who I am." Liam didn't look at her. He looked at the water and said, "You never lost yourself. You just needed someone who knew how to see you." Those words hit her hard. But outside their quiet moments, the world was waiting, and the world had rules. Emily's parents had plans. Plans that didn't include Liam. One evening, Emily's father sat her down in the living room. The room was beautiful, expensive, everything perfect, except for how heavy the air felt. Her father spoke calmly, like everything was already decided. "Emily, Ryan is a smart, stable young man. He comes from a good family. He can provide you a secure life. Liam, he is a nice boy, but love doesn't run a home. Responsibility does. Her mother added softly. You're older now. You have to think about your future. Emily's heart hurt. Because they weren't wrong, not in the way the world sees things. But the world doesn't feel what her heart feels. Later that night, she sat outside on the porch steps, hugging her knees, silently crying, the kind of tears that don't make sound. Liam arrived, like he always did, quietly, without needing to be asked. He sat beside her. Didn't push her to speak. Didn't ask what happened. He just stayed. After a long silence, Emily whispered, "Everyone thinks they know what my future should look like, and I'm starting to feel like I don't have a choice." Liam's voice was soft, steady, the same way it had always been. Choice is never easy, Emily. Especially when it means standing alone. Emily looked at him, eyes full of fear, confusion, and love tangled together. "Liam, I don't want to lose you." He finally turned to her, really looked at her, his voice deep but fragile. "You won't. But you might lose yourself if you let others decide your life." The wind was quiet. The town was quiet. Only their hearts were loud. Emily closed her eyes. Liam spoke one more sentence, the one that stayed in her soul. Love doesn't ask for permission, but choosing it does. And she knew. The hardest part of the story was just about to begin. Emily stood in the middle of the living room, her hands trembling, her heart racing. Her parents, relatives, and even Ryan sat there, waiting for her answer. The pressure in the room felt heavy, like the air itself didn't want her to breathe. Liam stood near the doorway, quiet, respectful, not pushing her. His eyes only said one thing. "I'm here, no matter what you choose." And in that moment, Emily realized something. Love is not about winning. Love is about staying. She took a slow, deep breath. Her mother spoke first. "Emily, you are making this too difficult. Ryan can give you a beautiful life. A secure life. A life without struggle." Her father nodded. Stability matters more than feelings. Feelings fade. Emily looked at her parents with soft, tired eyes. She wasn't angry. She wasn't crying. She was simply, finally clear. "Maybe feelings fade," she whispered, her voice steady, "when they are not real." Everyone fell silent. Emily continued, her voice growing stronger, "But what I feel for Liam, it didn't fade. Not in childhood. Not when I was away. Not even when everyone told me to forget him. If it was weak, it would have died long ago. But it didn't. It's still here. Stronger than ever." Her mother shook her head. "Love can't run a household." Emily stepped forward, placing her hand on her heart. "But love can build a life. A real one. A life where I recognize myself." Ryan finally stood up, trying to keep his pride steady. "So you choose him? A life of uncertainty?" Emily looked at Ryan kindly, not with hate, but with honesty. "No, Ryan. I choose myself first. And myself loves him." Liam's eyes filled, not with tears, but with something deeper, respect. Emily turned to her family now. "You say you want my happiness. But how can I be happy with someone I don't love? How can I spend my life in a home where my heart is missing? Yes, maybe Liam doesn't have a big house, or high status, or money that impresses the world." She looked at Liam and smiled softly. "But he has something no one can buy. He has me. And I have him." Her father spoke again, voice hard, if you walk out that door with him, don't expect this family to support you. The room froze. Emily didn't shake. Didn't break. She simply breathed. If choosing my happiness means losing approval, then I accept that. If loving him means standing alone, then I will stand. Because living without love is not living at all. Silence. Heavy. Final. Emily walked to Liam, slowly but confidently. Liam reached out his hand, not pulling, just offering. She took it. And together, they walked out. Not into certainty. Not into guarantees. But into truth. Outside, the air felt open. Free. Real. Emily looked at Liam and whispered. Love isn't something we find. It's something we choose. And Liam replied softly. And we choose each other. Always. If you liked this story, hit the like button and subscribe for more stories like this. Thank you.